What's up everybody, this is Ven bringing you a new MOC Spotlight where we continue to take apart what you build. For today's episode, we'll be taking a look at Nalcrodox, created and posted to our message boards by Belicure. Now before we get started, there are three fundamental qualities I'll be focusing on throughout the review: the overall appearance of the MOC, the build of the MOC itself, and whatever concepts and ideas that may have been put into the MOC's creation. And I'll be forming a personal opinion on this MOC based on each quality, determining where the MOC excels and where it could use improvement. So let's get this started. Okay, right off the bat, there is no denying just how impressive this MOC already is at first glance. I actually did see this MOC at Brickfair last year, and good god, y'all, like these pictures don't do it any justice. I mean, first of all, it's huge. It's big enough to be about the same size as a small human, and you can get a pretty good idea of how big this thing is just by looking at the pictures from Brickfair. I'm telling you guys, it is huge, but that's not really its best quality. I feel like I'd be insulting the MOC if I didn't acknowledge all the detail put into the whole thing. Not just the figure that's sitting in the chair, that already looks really complex and interesting, and we'll get to him in just a minute, but I also want to acknowledge just how much detail is put into his little throne. The shaping of the throne is realistic, and it's got a lot of texture on it. And there are lots of cool details, like the purple patterns on the armrests, the masks embedded into parts of the throne, these smaller details on the lower part of the throne, the big chains you can see drooping off of the armrests. Now, Nalcrodox himself is just plain awesome. His whole body's got a really unique texture to it. It's very slim, and it looks like it's made out of a bunch of tiny black tendrils. It's like something out of a Tim Burton film. You've met the corpse bride, now meet the corpse godfather. And if you think he wasn't imposing enough, look at his face. It is really creepy looking, that's for sure. But there's something underneath it, literally underneath it, that makes this MOC way cooler. The eyes and the mouth can actually glow, and it is awesome. There's an LED in here that lights up these transparent red pieces, making for a very sinister appearance. Even when he's wearing a Santa hat, he looks evil. Might as well just call him Krampus. And speaking of hats, he does typically wear this large black top hat, which I'll admit at first I wasn't really feeling it, but after kinda thinking about it a little bit more, I do appreciate that it adds a lot of character to this guy. And also adds to the whole Tim Burton vibe I've been getting from it. Now, I do have one criticism to make, and it's that I kind of wish that Nalcrodox and the throne that he was sitting on were two different colors, you know? Because this whole MOC is just entirely black, and it's kind of hard to tell what's going on. I will give it this, though. The contrast in the texture between the character and the throne does help circumvent that. Like, you can tell all these like weird tentacle portions are part of Nalcrodox, and any portion that is flat or has a smooth surface or anything like that is part of the throne. So that is cool to have. I just think maybe a little bit more contrast would help. Like perhaps if the throne was primarily a different color, like a dark gray or dark red or something like that, then I feel not only would it be a little bit easier to look at, but Nalcrodox himself would pop out a lot more. Now, in regards to the build, the MOC is just about as impressive. I mean, look at all this. I can't even tell how the builder put together Nalcrodox. The throne is pretty easy to figure out. It looks like it's almost entirely comprised of system elements. You got stacks and stacks of Lego bricks that comprise the structure of the throne. And while I'm usually not too big on using system parts for structure, there's just so much of it in bulk that it works here. And Nalcrodox, well, I can't even begin to figure out how this guy was built. I know there's a lot of those tentacle or tail pieces used in the arms and legs, and I can make out a couple of bionicle parts that comprise the torso, but the way that this is all put together and the way that it looks, it's almost as if this was not built out of any sort of Lego. The one thing I will say though, it does look to be a bit fragile. Like, ask yourself real quick, can you honestly see yourself picking this guy up without breaking a couple of parts off of him? By accident, of course. Not on purpose. because that would kind of make you a jerk. Because I don't know, if I feel like if I were up to that task, I would be really scared to break off like all of these little tentacles and stuff. It does not look like it's meant to be played with, and that's fine. The whole thing doesn't come across to me as an average toy. It's definitely a set piece MOC. Yeah, I think that's for sure. All in all, Belicure did an amazing job bringing this sinister looking character to life, or rather building this sinister character to life. At the time of this recording, the character does not have a backstory, which actually does surprise me because it has so many unique characteristics, and just by looking at this whole thing, you can tell that the builder had a lot of different ideas going into the MOC's build, and there's a lot of potential to be had here. It doesn't even look like it could be a Bionicle character or any sort of LEGO related character. It looks like it could be the big final boss in a video game. And I mean big. Like, if you put a minifigure next to this guy, you can get an idea of just how crazy that boss battle would be. His big tendril arms and legs swiping at you. I don't know. But nonetheless, it's a really cool design, and I'm really happy to say that I was able to see this at Brickfair, Virginia 2016. So, great job to you, Belicure. Thank you for posting this to our message boards. It was great meeting you twice at Brickfair, and I do sincerely hope to see more out of you, especially to this scale. I feel that this could easily become your shtick if you're able to afford it, because, I mean, this MOC looks expensive. And as for the rest of you viewers, please feel free to post to our message boards at board.ttvchannel.com. You are more than welcome to post your own MOCs to the LEGO Creations category, thus making you eligible for a MOC Spotlight sometime in the future, where my only criteria is creativity and interesting qualities. So until then, I thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time.